The Boston Bruins win 4-3 in overtime over the Philadelphia Flyers and improve their record to 14-11-3 on the season. They're now 7-3 in the Sacco era and still third in the Atlantic with 33 points, along with being on a 4-game win streak. This Bruins team didn't give up, fought their way back into the game, and won. As always, I'm going to cover the highs and lows of the Boston Bruins 4-3 win over the Philadelphia Flyers. So buckle up, Bruins fans. I'm here to give you the latest info on your beloved Boston Bruins. If you've been liking my Bruins content, please leave me a like and subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you, and let's get into it. Boston Bruins have already played the Flyers twice this season, and at the start of this game, the season series was split 1-1. The Flyers won the first game 2-0, and the Bruins won the second game 3-0. I was surprised when they went with Swayman today, and not because he hasn't played well, because he has. It's because Korpisalo got a shutout against the Flyers the last time they played them. Before the game, Sacco mentioned why he hadn't changed the lines too much, and why he wasn't going to be changing the lines too much.
Goalie today?
Swayman.
Any other lineup changes?
No, the lineup will stay consistent from what it was last game. The same.
Is that kind of a? If you win, you're gonna roll with it most of the time. Or is that...
As far as the lineup, or
Yeah.
Not necessarily. No, we've made changes in the past where we've won and we've taken players out and swapped out a different player in. So it's not necessarily just based on winning. It's based on performance, teams we're playing. What if we liked what we saw? Even maybe the result wasn't what we wanted, but we liked what we saw in our lineup.
It was interesting to hear as he changed up the lines last game to put Marchand, Lindholm, and Pastrnak together, and he's been keeping it together. But it's all based on footage or what he sees during the game. He isn't changing the lines up, though, like we saw from Montgomery, as he's trying to build chemistry, as he said. The first period, the Bruins didn't come out strong at all. They sat back more and let the Flyers be first on the puck. They had an early opportunity on the power play when the Flyers got called for too many men, but couldn't generate anything on the first chance. The power play being last in the league is hurting this team, but they can't capitalize on any of these chances. You can't expect to win every game 5-on-5 all the time. Scoring a power play goal gives you momentum and has the other team play on their heels. Not long after, Mark Kostelic takes what I call a stupid penalty when he goes off for tripping. It doesn't take the Flyers long, as though they have a good puck cycle. They get shots on net, the shot gets blocked, but it pops out to Couturier, who is able to slide it over to a wide-open Michkov, who gets his first of the game on the power play, and it's his 10th of the season. Michkov leads all rookies in goals going to this game and extends that lead. Michkov is already becoming a threat in the league, and someone who never should be left alone like that on the half wall. It's interesting because the Bruins know that every team covers Pastrnak like a hawk, but for some reason decide to leave a guy like Michkov so wide open. The Bruins will continue to be lazy on the forecheck and not be first on pucks. Beecher gets a soft call to go his way, and the Bruins are back on the power play. On this power play, we see some great puck movement and shots that don't come from Pastrnak because everyone knows that's who they're looking for. Marchand and Zacha have some great chances, but just can't put the puck in the net. They either hit the post or put it wide. The power play is so snake-bitten, they can't buy a goal at this point. With less than 2 minutes left in the first, the Bruins once again decide to leave Michkov all alone in the slot, and he rips a one-timer past Swayman. You watch the replay of this one, and it's a head-scratcher, and he could have knitted a sweater how long he's been alone in front of the net. The Bruins have now allowed 12 goals this season in the final 2 minutes of the period, which is just unacceptable. At the end of the first period, the Bruins outshot the Flyers 9-8. The second period, the Bruins start out the same as the first, but early power play by Boston seems to put some life in them. Why does an early power play put some life in them? Well, it's because the second power play, which has been the best all season, scores. Brazeau creates a screen in front, and none other than the star of my last video, Trent Frederic, scores on the backhand. The Bruins need to score more goals on the power play if they have any chances of being successful this season, and it brings life to the team. The next shift after that goal, the Bruins were all over the Flyers and continued all period to be the better team on the ice. Swayman has to make some nice saves in the second as well to keep his team in the game after some broken coverage caused by turnovers, which made the puck go the other way. The worst part of this period is the Bruins are playing well, and Philly just applies a little bit of pressure in the zone, gets some bodies in front of the net, and they're able to score to make it 3-1. Yes, Couturier's stick touches Swayman, but it's actually Zadorov's stick, which is in Swayman's face, causing the issue for him being unable to track the puck. Players need to be in control of their stick, and especially not putting it in your own goalie's face. I would have liked Swayman to have this one, though, but as with him all season, he cares far too much about the guy that's in his crease. He needs to start letting the defenseman handle this. The announcers during the second kept mentioning how rough the game was getting, but all I kept seeing was a bunch of cheap shots from both sides. No pushback from either team. Sure, there was some hitting, but it's a bunch of guys pushing each other after the whistle, not dropping the mitts, and waiting for the refs to jump in before acting big and tough. The Bruins had a lot more push this period, but right now their poor play in the first seems to be costing them. By the end of the second, the Flyers are now outshooting the Bruins 19-8. The Bruins are out hitting the Flyers 27-10, but the Flyers don't seem to be fazed at all by the Bruins trying to push them around. The Flyers continue to win key faceoffs in the end, and the Bruins giving up possession right from the draw. The third period is no better for the Bruins, as they continue to allow the Flyers to be first on the puck and drive to the net with ease. Swayman has to be the best player for the Bruins in this period and stop the Flyers on all these big chances. The Bruins' execution looks to be their worst effort under Joe Sacco at the beginning of the third. All the pressure at the beginning of the third period came from the Flyers, but there was a little hope. The Bruins capitalized on a broken play, and Trent Frederic, of all players, gets his second of the game to make it 3-2. If any Bruin needed some puck luck, it was Frederic. He is now on pace for 14 goals this season. I will say in this game, though, Charlie McAvoy has been by far the Bruins' best player all game. He's been jumping into the play and making some big hits. He seems to be involved in everything and not backing down to anything the Flyers try and put at him all game. It's great to see because his play today has been something I've been waiting to see from him all season. The Bruins, after the Frederic goal, start to play with life again and look like the team we've seen since Sacco took over. Before the period ends, the captain, Brad Marchand, takes the team on his back and gets behind the Flyers defenders and goes on a breakaway and scores to tie it up to make it 3-3. The Bruins make a late push and have 2 power play opportunities, but again, they can't score on the power play at all this year, and we're heading to overtime. The overtime is all Boston, and they have control of the puck the whole time until a giveaway, which sends the Flyers on a breakaway, but Swayman makes a huge save to literally save the game. Pastrnak takes the puck up the ice and never gives up on the play in the Flyers zone and pulls defenders towards him, makes a sweet pass to Zacha, who scores the game winner, and the Bruins win 4-3 in overtime. If it wasn't for the first period, the Bruins were the better team, but they played so poor in the first, which almost cost them the game. Out of 3 goals the Flyers scored, I would say one of them I would have liked Swayman to have to make that save. But on the other hand, I thought he played a pretty good game. Brad Marchand now leads the Bruins in goals, but David Pastrnak leads the team in assists and points. They found a way to win today, which is great to see, and they never gave up. Frederic getting 2 goals, McAvoy having a great game, all lead to the Bruins win today. I want to hear your thoughts on what you think the turning point in the 4-3 win today was. That's a wrap on today's video. To stay up to date on all the news surrounding the Boston Bruins, please subscribe and drop me a like. If news breaks surrounding the Boston Bruins, be sure to check out the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you, and I'll see you next time.